Hey guys, just finished watching Gotham, Season 4, Episode 13, A Dark Night, A Beautiful Darkness. This episode was really interesting. It was really cool playing with the different stuff, seeing Jerome and Penguin going through some stuff in prison. Although they weren't really kind of doing much in prison, they didn't really they just played around with each other, and Jerome played around with Penguin, and it was cool seeing that. I just would like to see him doing a little bit more jokery stuff and kind of going around and doing this. And I'm not mistaken, I had heard him, Cameron Monaghan, who plays Jerome and stuff, saying that he's not really the Joker yet at the beginning. The first thing, before we even see him in the first thing he does in the episode was throw Penguin a Joker card, which is pretty cool. So it is kind of cool to see that. It is going to be cool to see that evolution, especially with the Batman stuff that we got in this episode for Bruce. So let's get into the thing. The first, we got the Ivy ended up killing a guy with Selena. Ivy and Selena go in to kind of rob a family and stuff, and Ivy ends up killing the guy in front of the rest of the family. And Selena's not cool with that. Selena is leaving Ivy, and Bruce wakes up to find Ivy there. And then Jerome is bored of Penguin, and so he decides to make him to try and play with him and kind of to get him out of his head type thing, and he's trying to do that. Then Ivy poisons Bruce, and Bruce goes through that whole kind of hallucination scene, and that was kind of really cool dealing with all that. The hallucination scene, Jim Gordon with the mustache, although I would have given obviously a bigger mustache in that little thing, and it was kind of weird why they did that little mustache. It clearly looked, obviously it was fake, but it just didn't look like a Jim Gordon mustache. It would have been cool to go full thick Jim Gordon mustache. And another thing with the Batman in the hallucination, why not just get I can't think of the guy's name, Kevin Conroy, the classic Batman voice from all the video games, all the cartoons. He's been doing it for decades now. That voice, it's such an iconic voice. Why would they go with that one and not go with the one they did? Let's see, does it say here on IMDb who did the voice of Batman? Because they also had Ra's al Ghul there, playing a different guy. Do they have Batman voice? No, they don't have it listed here on IMDb. No. So who knows whose voice it is? Maybe it was, was it David? What is his name? The kid who plays Batman, David Morose. Maybe it was his voice. I'm not sure, but it would have been cool to hear Kevin Conroy's voice. He's so iconic as the role. It would have been really cool to hear that, but I guess they missed that opportunity there. So it was really cool, like I said, seeing everyone kind of futuristic versions, their eventual look. I'm surprised that Poison Ivy didn't look Poison Ivy like, did have more of a Poison Ivy, and see if she's gonna get that costume where she loses her clothes. She just has clothes made out of vines and stuff. I think that's really going to be cool to see that, and that kind of Poison Ivy-ish playing with it. I think it's really going to be cool to see where things go with her, how they continue on with the character. And I like what they're doing with her. It's just I don't see that there's going to feel like they're going to have to kill her off or something like this, because at this point she's becoming a big season villain. So hopefully they can do that, and maybe do that in a way where they don't kill her off at the end of the season, so that we can keep her and have her actually become the Poison Ivy whenever Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. We can have that final thing come up too. So I think that could be cool to see that and see how things go with the Poison Ivy character. And then we get Penguin ends up is forced to perform for Jerome. Doesn't really work out for him. Ivy enslaves the GCPD. She's able to control all of those guys. And then Penguin finally makes Jerome laugh. By playing, by doing, the illusionist and stuff. That was really cool doing with that. We got Penguin, and then we find out that Project M that Wayne Enterprise is working on is the Lazarus Pit water, and Bruce is having them working on that. And I find that interesting that he was doing that. He wanted to have it tested, but he was doing that. He even let other people know about that. I thought it would be something he'd want to keep closed and keep close and then keep a lid on it, and not let it get out there, because that's a dangerous thing, the idea of more immortality and all that stuff. So I think that's going to be cool to see how that kind of plays in the future, now that if other people learn about it, if it gets out there, and if Ivy looks like she's trying to take over the world, if she ends up making these giant creatures, these giant, plant creatures that could just walk around town destroying stuff, how are they going to kill them if they're immortal? if they keep regenerating. You know, you cut one down and it just goes right back. You know, how are they gonna do that? How are people gonna stop that? In this world so far, there ain't no superheroes. No one else has superpowers other than the villain. So that could be cool to see where things go with that. If I'm not mistaken, isn't what's her name, Fish Mooney, still out there with all of her crazy freaks with powers? So maybe one of those guys could come around and help solve that, because it would be cool to see someone who's there's that guy, I forget, one of Jerome, I forget if he's alive or not, or if he's dead yet. One of Fish Mooney's guys who actually turned turned Ivy into the older version, but the first time from the kid to the second one, not to the one we have now. I think that guy, if he touches something that touches the Lazarus water, what happens? You know, he kills everything. He instantly kills everything he touches, kind of just withers and dies. But if he touches the Lazarus water, that's kind of immortal, how would those things with those powers negate each other? Would they, you know, what would happen to that stuff? So maybe he could be the key to, you know, stopping Ivy if she becomes immortal with the Lazarus pit water. Then we get James ends up saving Bruce, and then we get Bruce kind of calls Alfred at the end, and we find out that Jerome has a plan to break out, and because Penguin just asks him, well, you're in total control here, why don't you just walk out the front door? And then he's like, he has a plan coming up. And I think it's interesting with that, because we play with the whole Bruce and Alfred thing. In the next episode, the trailer looks like he goes for Alfred, and Alfred just says, no, I don't want to help you. And I think that's really interesting to see now that Bruce has had this vision. Now he can really start, you know, rolling forward on this whole Batman thing, and he can put everything into gear 11 and just kind of go full force into the Batman stuff. And I really can't wait to see that part, more of the Batman stuff, because right now he hasn't been the Batman. I mean, so far this whole Bruce Wayne story arc is really kind of, everything so far has not really been the thing that I've been looking for. It really kind of annoys me the way they done. They should have had him, you know, fighting crime the second episode of season 1. You know, episode 1. By the end of episode 1, he should have been, you know, training, fighting, and done that. I think, you know, actually Bruce Wayne should have been, you know, see him in the first episode, second episode he's gone, and then he's just fighting with Ra's al Ghul and training with the League of Assassins and training with all over the world, and you just get brief updates from him, just kind of, oh, he's training here now, oh, now he's learning this, oh, now he's learning that martial art, he's learning this martial art, he's learning how to, you know, meditate for 4 days, he's learning how to, you know, go without food for a month, you know, things like that, going on little food. He's learning how to hike, he's learning how to this, he's learning how to that, you know, he's learning all kinds of things, how to push his body to the next level to become the Batman. And at this point, he's getting so old where it's just like, well, you're kind of too late thing. Just give up now, because you're too late to become the Batman. You're too late in life to push on through. So hopefully we can get to him kind of kicked in gear, and we can see where things go with that, and things can kind of go towards there, because I think it looks pretty cool. I like to think the way things are going, if they can kick in gear. But like I said, this is, you know, it's not the Batman origin I would have wanted for Bruce Wayne. So yeah, but otherwise the rest of the show was pretty good. Like the whole thing was with Jim Gordon, where things are going with that, and things are going with Ivy. It's kind of interesting. Doesn't like super interesting, but it's just kind of like, we'll see where things go with this. And the whole Bruce Wayne thing, him almost dying in this episode, interesting. I mean, I didn't really feel like he was gonna die because it's Bruce Wayne. And at the same time, it's only episode 13, so we still have a few more episodes to go before anything like that would even happen. And it's not a mid-season final or a season final, so if anything like that was going to happen, it would be, you know, season final or mid-season final. But for here, it's, you know, it's Bruce Wayne anyway. So all in all, it was an interesting episode. Again, can't wait to see where things go, but nothing super amazing in here. So let me know what you think, guys, about season 4, episode 13. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?